When I collapsed in the hospital lobby, my doctor walked past me and said, "Still performing, I see." I was on the floor, unable to move my legs, and he stepped over me like I was trash while nurses rushed to help. "Get her to emergency," one nurse shouted, but Dr. Brennan held up his hand. "She's my patient. This is attention-seeking behavior. She does this whenever she doesn't get pain medication." The nurses looked confused because I'd never asked for pain medication, just answers for why I couldn't walk some days. "Sir, she can't move her legs." The younger nurse was checking my reflexes and looking worried. "She can move them fine. I've seen her walk. This morning she walked into my office, didn't she?" He pulled out his phone, checking the time like I was making him late. "That was 3 hours ago. Something's wrong. Please run the MRI you promised." I could barely talk through the pain shooting up my spine. "I never promised an MRI. You demanded one because you've been reading medical websites." He turned to the nurses. "Leave her. She'll get up when she realizes nobody's buying her act." But the older nurse wasn't having it. "Doctor, with respect, we can't leave a patient on the floor." He laughed, and it was cruel. "Patient? She's a frequent flyer who wants disability checks. I've seen dozens like her. Mysterious pain that conveniently flares up when bills are due. I tried to sit up but couldn't. I work full-time. I don't want disability. I want to know what's wrong with me." He rolled his eyes and pulled my chart up on his tablet. "According to my notes, you've complained about back pain, leg numbness, and weakness for 8 months. Every test came back normal. Therefore, you're fine." The younger nurse was still checking my reflexes. "Doctor, her left foot has no response. Zero plantar reflex." He didn't even look. "She's controlling it. They learned to suppress reflexes from YouTube videos." That's when my husband arrived for what was supposed to be my follow-up appointment. "What's happening? Why is my wife on the floor?" Dr. Brennan sighed dramatically. "Your wife is having another episode. I was just explaining to the staff that this is behavioral, not medical." My husband's face went red. "Behavioral?" "She woke up crying in pain. She crawled to the bathroom this morning because her legs wouldn't work." The doctor smirked. "Yet she managed to get here, didn't she? Interesting how the paralysis comes and goes." The older nurse was taking my blood pressure and frowned. "Her BP is 180/95. That's not behavioral." Dr. Brennan waved dismissively. "Anxiety from being caught faking." That's when another doctor walked by and stopped. "What's going on here?" the nurse explained while Dr. Brennan tried to interrupt. "I'm handling this. She's my patient." But the other doctor was already kneeling beside me. "Can you feel this?" He pressed on my legs and I felt nothing below my knees. "No, nothing. It's been getting worse for months, but Dr. Brennan says I'm imagining it." The new doctor looked at my chart, then at Dr. Brennan. "You haven't ordered any imaging? No MRI? No CT scan? With progressive numbness and paralysis?" Dr. Brennan crossed his arms. "The blood work was normal. No need for expensive tests for psychosomatic symptoms." The new doctor stood up slowly. "Get her to radiology immediately. Full spine MRI with contrast." He looked at Dr. Brennan. "And you come with me." The nurses lifted me onto a gurney while my husband held my hand. 2 hours later, the new doctor came back with the MRI results and the head of neurology. "You have a tumor compressing your spinal cord. It's been growing for months. Another week and the damage would have been permanent." He turned to my husband. "She needs surgery tonight." I started crying, not from pain but from relief that someone finally believed me. Dr. Brennan said I was faking. The head of neurology looked furious. "Dr. Brennan is being reviewed. Refusing to order basic imaging for progressive neurological symptoms is malpractice." The surgery took 6 hours. When I woke up, I could feel my legs again. The surgeon said if we'd waited another week, I would have been paralyzed for life. The tumor was benign, but had been growing exactly where I'd been telling Dr. Brennan the pain was for 8 months. 3 days later, while I was still recovering, the hospital administrator came to my room. "Dr. Brennan is no longer employed here. We've reviewed his other cases and found a pattern of dismissing female patients with chronic pain. 17 women with serious conditions he labeled as drug-seeking or hypochondriacs." She handed me a card. "The hospital will cover all your medical expenses and ongoing treatment. We're also recommending you speak to our legal department." My husband looked at the administrator. "How many of those 17 women ended up with permanent damage?"